Okay, so I'm basically almost done building the amp rack.
So?
Hey Jack. I've got the fuse holders.
Oh my.
These two here are temporary. They're going to be replaced with something that could actually accept 0 gauge. These are only 4 gauge, so this is temporary just to make sure I have the wire length correct. The grounds go over here to the car, so I'm not going to run those wires yet because I still have to put the vinyl on the amp rack and make it nice. But this is kind of what I'm going for the wiring. So the batteries will sit right here. I'm basically going to have the wires going directly to the batteries. I could run more wire and try and hide it and all that, but I don't think it's worth it. I think this is good enough for now. The amps are going to be run together. So one is a master, one is a slave. I've got the 90-degree RCA neck over there, which connects to the second one, and I've got the 2 negatives of the amps wired together. So this is called strapping, so both amps are strapped. I'm going to run them at 2 ohm load, so each amp will see 1 ohm. So it's going to be a max output of 15,000 watts, since each amp is 7,500. That's a heck of a lot of power for this little car, but we'll see how much I could actually push since I'm very tight on battery space, which means very tight on the amount of electricity I could push into them. I know I have more power than enough to run one, but definitely not enough for 2, so I'll figure it out. Thinking a capacitor bank and maybe a lithium in the future, but for now I think this is going to do. The box I'm building will actually be 33 inches. So it's going to go all the way to this mark right here. So it's going to be as deep as this one and as wide as this one goes to the right. So basically almost touching on both sides. And the amp rack will extend just a little bit beyond that. And I'm going to cover in vinyl. And you can see here, depth-wise, it's going to be pretty close. When the car struts, it has about 2 or 3 inches of clearance. So it's actually all good. The other challenging thing will be the port. The port, like my last one, will be an add-on to the top. This camera keeps unfocusing. It's going to be basically all the way up to here, and this piece on the car is actually going to be right above it. So I'm going to need to sand the port a little bit so I could close the hatch, because the port will end right over here and go all the way to the front of the box. That's going to be a 32 hertz tune if I do it 27.5 inches long. Remember, this will be 33, so that's going to give me space to actually have little feet that I could ratchet down with bolts. For SPL, I'm going to try taking the port off and seeing what numbers I could do without a port, which is basically a very high tune. But I don't really care about the number chasing, it's just kind of informative. For me, it's all about the music. Right, stay tuned.